how would you like to do a feature film in 4 days? And I went, I like that idea. And then he said, how would you like to play Donald Trump? And I loved that idea. Be more presidential and fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Did you get any feedback from him?
He stopped calling me.
He did.
Donald Trump has faced plenty of criticism over the years, but this one might just hit a little different. Jonny Depp took the stage on the Graham Norton show and delivered an impression so sharp, so spot on, that the entire audience burst into laughter. The reaction, a roaring applause, social media going wild, and Trump's biggest fans scrambling to defend him. Depp didn't just mimic Trump, he became him. The exaggerated hand gestures, the signature pout, the way he rambled on, it was almost too real. Within minutes, clips of the moment were everywhere. Memes flooded the internet, reactions poured in, and even celebrities chimed in with their own takes. But why did this hit so hard? Maybe because deep down, even Trump's supporters knew Depp nailed it.
You kind of see in him when you really watch him. There's a pretense. There's something created about him in a sense of bulliedom. But what he is, I believe, is a brat.
Depp didn't just poke fun at Trump, he embodied him. The slurred, meandering speech, the over-the-top hand gestures, the smug, overconfident tone, it was all there, right down to the unmistakable orange glow. At first, the audience let out a few chuckles, but as Depp leaned in harder, the room erupted. I told them, build me that wall, a sensational wall, a fabulous wall, he declared, mimicking Trump's habit of making everything sound like the greatest thing in history. It wasn't just hilarious, it was uncannily accurate. The way Depp captured Trump's signature blend of bravado and nonsense left everyone in stitches. Within seconds, the internet was eating it up, and even those who usually defend Trump had to admit, Depp absolutely nailed it.
How would you like to do a feature film in 4 days? And I went, I like that idea. And then he said, how would you like to play Donald Trump? And I loved that idea. I didn't care if I knew if I was capable or not, you know. I wanted to try, so yeah, so I I did my bit as Donald Trump. You don't want to be Donald Trump.
Because the way he speaks is very specific.
Yeah.
Were you telling all the Mexicans to get off set?
I told them to build me that wall. I want a sensational wall. A fabulous wall. I don't remember what the question was, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to answer it anyway.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Trump, the guy who never shies away from throwing insults, completely lost it. The Twitter rants? Immediate. The angry, all-cap statements? Non-stop. The desperate attempts to clap back? Oh, they were flying. And just like that, Depp's impression wasn't just another late-night joke. It became the moment everyone was talking about. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Depp didn't just mock Trump. He became him. Every little detail was nailed to perfection. The stiff, robotic hand movements, the squinted eyes that make it seem like Trump's perpetually staring into the sun, the bizarre mix of slurred rambling and sudden overconfidence, where half the time it feels like even Trump has no idea what he's saying. The accuracy was almost unnerving, and that's exactly what made it so hilarious. The audience was in tears, the internet exploded, and Trump, well, let's just say he wasn't laughing.
Okay, look.
And also, the absurdity of where his sentences might travel. Because, you know, I mean, really, no. I mean, so, no. Because everything is mine. Even if I don't own it yet, I'll have it. You've got Reagan who... This kills me. Reagan, back in the day, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall.
But the real kicker, Depp nailed the vocabulary. Oh, he didn't hold back. Not one bit. The endless, tremendous, beautiful, fantastic. Words that sound less like a serious political speech and more like a bad real estate ad. And then came the pauses. Those weird mid-sentence stops where Trump seems to forget what he was saying, followed by a quick repeat of the same phrase, just louder. Depp had it all locked in, but the moment that really sent the crowd into chaos? His take on Trump's infamous wall speech. Still in full character, Depp launched into a ridiculous, yet shockingly accurate rant. I told them to build me that wall. I want a sensational wall, a fabulous wall, a wall so big, so strong, even the wind will say, "Sir, I can't get through." Boom. The audience lost it. Laughter, wild applause, even a few people wiping away tears. But one person not laughing. Trump. If there's one thing he cannot stand, it's being the joke. And Depp's impression, it wasn't just funny, it was too accurate. It made Trump look exactly like what his critics have been saying all along, a walking, talking punchline. And just like that, a late-night comedy sketch became a full-blown political moment. Trump wasn't about to let it slide. His reaction was instant, and honestly, it only made things worse. Like clockwork, the Twitter meltdown began. Jonny Depp, washed up, low talent, total disaster, Hollywood loser, could never make a great deal like me. SAD classic Trump, throwing a tantrum, missing the irony, and making sure everyone kept talking about exactly what he wanted to disappear.
Ever imitated him before?
Never.
I just assumed they'd
said
seen you do it at a party or something. They said, "Oh, that's great. We should make a movie around this."
No. Can you see me imitating people at parties?
No. But it's so good. It doesn't seem, I mean, it seems like something that you at least had a running start on.
Well, I got a feel for him because he's sensational. Absolutely fabulous.
Have you heard from him? Did you get any feedback from him?
He stopped calling me.
He did. He said.
And just like that, things escalated fast. Trump's first angry tweet, just the beginning. He went all in, mocking Depp's career, bringing up his legal troubles, and even tossing out the bizarre claim that he does a better Jonny Depp impression. Yep, that happened. Then, as if that wasn't enough, Trump called for a boycott of Depp's movies, because apparently nothing threatens democracy quite like an actor doing a silly voice on a talk show. But here's the thing about Trump's Twitter meltdowns. They never work the way he wants them to. Instead of hurting Depp, his tantrums supercharged the impression. Suddenly, everyone wanted to see what had Trump so worked up. The clip went mega viral, spreading like wildfire across social media. And then came the memes. Oh, the memes. People started screenshotting Trump's furious tweets next to Depp's exaggerated Trump face, one of the best. A side-by-side of Depp's impression versus Trump's actual speeches, captioned, "One is a joke, the other is Jonny Depp." Even late-night hosts jumped in. Stephen Colbert couldn't resist joking, "You know you've nailed an impression when the real guy throws a tantrum about it." And just like that, Trump's own reaction turned the joke into something bigger. Depp's impression, no longer just a punchline, it became a symbol of how easily Trump gets rattled. But the chaos? Oh, it was just getting started, because Jonny Depp's Trump impression was already setting the internet on fire. But then, Alec Baldwin entered the ring, and if you know anything about Baldwin, you know one thing for sure. When it comes to playing Trump, he's not the type to back down.
Donald Trump.
He was difficult. Because how do you approach that, John? How do you approach that? I approached Donald Trump as and it's not just about being a rich kid or anything like that. I approached Donald Trump as what you kind of see in him when you really want.
Both are terrible, sad. No one can do Trump like Trump. Yep, that was actually his response. Trump, a man who spent his entire life craving the spotlight, was now watching two Hollywood A-listers battle over who could make fun of him better. And the best part, he wasn't even in control of the conversation anymore. At this point, the internet was fully invested. People started analyzing Baldwin and Depp's performances like it was some kind of Shakespearean rivalry. Threads popped up breaking down their facial expressions, voice inflections, and even hand movements. One viral post declared, "Baldwin does angry Trump, Depp does delusional Trump, but the real Trump? A mix of both." Memes exploded. One side by side compared Baldwin's scowl to Depp's wild hand gestures with the caption, Choose your fighter, the Hulk versus Captain Jack Trump. Another had Baldwin in his SNL makeup, Depp mid-impression, and Trump tweeting angrily in the corner captioned, "The multiverse of Trump madness." Even Hollywood got in on it. Comedians, talk show hosts, and even actors picked sides, turning this into a full-fledged celebrity showdown. But then, just when it seemed like the internet had reached peak Trump war, Depp and Baldwin did something nobody saw coming. They teamed up. It started with a cryptic post from Baldwin. "Maybe there's a way we can settle this." Then Depp posted, "What do you think? Double the Trump, double the fun." And just like that, Baldwin and Depp, two Hollywood giants, joined forces for what would become one of the most legendary comedy sketches of the decade. Late night shows scrambled to get them. Saturday Night Live cleared the stage. The internet went crazy, but the real question, would Trump survive the ultimate roast?
If Donald Trump is elected president of the United States, in a kind of historical way, it's exciting because we will see the actual last president of the United States. It just won't work after that.
So you won't be thrilled if that happens?
I don't believe in that stuff, you know?
And just like that, Trump's big comeback moment turned into yet another internet meltdown. People weren't talking about his speech. They weren't debating his policies. They were laughing at him. One viral post summed it up perfectly. Jonny Depp doing Trump. Hilarious. Trump doing Jonny Depp. Existential crisis. The memes kept coming. Someone edited Trump's savvy moment into a scene from Pirates of the Caribbean, replacing Jack Sparrow with a confused-looking Trump while Captain Barbossa stared in stunned disbelief. Another compared it to that one uncle at Thanksgiving who insists he can do impressions, then completely bombs in front of the family. But here's where it got even wilder. Baldwin and Depp, they weren't done yet. Seeing Trump's disastrous attempt at humor, they decided to push the joke even further. The next week, Baldwin appeared on SNL as Trump, and who joined him? Jonny Depp. The sketch, a fake Trump talent show. Baldwin's Trump strutted onto the stage, smug as ever. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I will prove I am the greatest entertainer of all time. And who am I impersonating? Myself, because no one does Trump better than me. Enter Jonny Depp, dressed as Trump doing Depp. Messy wig, orange spray tan. The infamous savvy line repeated over and over. The crowd lost it. And the best part? The real Trump couldn't stay quiet. He raged on Truth Social, calling it the worst show on TV, total disaster, sad. And just like that, Depp and Baldwin had won. Trump wanted to be in on the joke. Instead, he became the joke.
Donald Trump. I'm going to build a wall. Mexico. Okay, no, a fabulous wall. Sensational wall. And all of my billions are not going to have to pay for it. No, really, no. Because you know what? Mexico's going to pay for it. Really, Donald.
I had to let that happen. I had to do that.
Trump's usual move? Fire off an angry rant. But this time, he hesitated. Maybe he thought ignoring it would make it go away. Maybe he realized fighting Hollywood comedians was a losing battle. For a brief moment, the world waited. And then, boom, a midnight meltdown on Truth Social. Fake news late night comedians. Terrible ratings, total losers. Jonny Depp and Baldwin, both washed up. No talent, never made a great deal in their lives. SAD. It was classic Trump, baseless insults, weird obsession with ratings, over-the-top victim act. But here's the thing, nobody cared. The Trump brothers sketch was everywhere. Clips spread like wildfire. Late-night hosts couldn't get enough. Even political analysts weighed in, calling it one of the most brilliantly absurd takedowns of Trump's ego ever put on screen. But the real damage, Trump's own supporters weren't even defending him. Some pretended not to care. Others awkwardly laughed it off. A few even admitted the impression was actually kind of funny. And Trump? Oh, he wasn't done yet. The very next day, reports leaked that Trump had called a meeting with his inner circle. The reason? He wanted to do his own comedy special. That's right. The man who spent years raging against late-night comedians, now he wanted to be one. His plan, a stand-up style event where he'd roast his enemies. Hollywood, the media, and of course, Depp and Baldwin. The problem? Trump isn't funny. The real question now, would Trump actually go through with it, or would he realize, too late, that the biggest joke in all of this was him?
Hi, folks. It's me, Donald Trump. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's actually not presidential hopeful Donald Trump. It's Jonny Depp.
That's weird.
Right? Funny or Die went all out to create a full 51-minute spoof that centers around Trump's best-selling book, Art of the Deal. The Art of the Deal! And it could go down as one of the most epic.
Jonny Depp's Trump impression wasn't just a joke, it was a game changer. It reminded everyone of how powerful satire can be, how laughter can cut through the noise, and how something as simple as an impersonation can get people talking about so much more than just politics. For many, it was a welcome breath of fresh air. Liberals and Trump critics saw Depp's take as a hilarious, much-needed roast of a leader they believed had turned politics into a circus. Late-night hosts and social media exploded with praise, calling it one of the best political impressions they'd seen in years. It wasn't just funny, it was spot on. The exaggerated hand movements, the awkward pauses, and the constant obsession with words like tremendous. All of it perfectly captured how Trump talks and thinks. It said more about him than any serious speech or article ever could, but not everyone was laughing. Conservatives saw it as just another example of Hollywood's elitism, a celebrity mocking a leader they loved. Trump's diehard fans were furious, calling for a boycott of Depp's movies and accusing Hollywood of trying to push political views through comedy. Some even went as far as to claim the impression was a disrespectful attack on democracy, like somehow a simple impersonation could bring down a presidency.